Hi, I'd like to talk to you about something that I haven't really mentioned previously, but I've been aware of for several months now that can help you to actually lose weight, and it's a food, or rather, it's a group of foods. More specifically, it's foods that have starch in them. And you're going to say, wait a second, Glenn. Starchy foods have lots of carbohydrates in them, and carbohydrates are not good for you. Okay, if you're saying that, you don't understand the difference between good starches and bad starches. Good carbohydrates are complex and simple are bad. Okay? So simple carb source would be sugar, honey, agave syrup, molasses, inverse syrup, maple syrup, any kind of a sugary product that has been refined from something else. Coconut sugar, palm sugar, and there's a long, long list of probably at least 100 different kinds of sources of simple carbs that are bad for you. Yes, I know you're saying, but honey's got good things about it. Agave's got good things about it. But they're still simple sugars. They're still simple carbs. That makes them bad overall for your health. So, now, the thing that I want to tell you about is called resistant starch. Resistant starch is a starch that when it gets into your body cannot easily digest it. Therefore, it doesn't flood your blood with sugar because starch normally converts to sugar from that starchy form, depending on how much fiber there is as well, within about 30 hours. Sorry, no, minutes. 30 minutes. If it's a complex starch or carb, that's going to take longer, especially if it's got lots of fiber involved. And so here are some things that are starchy. Any kind of bread, including pretzels and crackers, beans, butternut squash, and other winter squashes, chickpeas, corn, including things like hominy and cassava and popcorn, lentils and other pulses and other legumes, parsnips, peas, another legume, potatoes, sweet potatoes, but sweet potatoes have lots of fiber in them that makes them much better for your health than regular potatoes. Taro, yams, including cassava. And cassava is in a special category because it is one of the few starchy ones that I'm aware of that also is full of resistant starch. Now, the reason I haven't mentioned this before is I just keep on forgetting about it. But this morning I saw a video on Nutrition Made Simple, which is a channel on YouTube by Dr. Gil Carvalho, and he discussed there are a couple of studies that he's mentioned in the video that demonstrate that resistant starch can help you to lose weight. Now, I do also want to go into a little bit more detail about what has starch in it. Rice, cornmeal pretzels, crackers, rice-a-roni, vermicelli, any kind of potatoes, any kind of flour, corn grits, corn flour, sorghum flour, wheat flour. Let's see what else. Masa, which is white corn flour, corn grits, Spanish rice mix, any kind of cereal, cornmeal, tortilla chips, pastas, any kind of pastas, although, of course, pastas that are made from whole wheat that have the bran in them are going to flood your blood with sugar much more slowly, and that has been proven. Yuca, also known as cassava. Let's see, peaky bread and other kinds of breads, like I said. I'm looking for anything else here. Pita chips, pitas, also bread. Oats, although oats do have a lot of fiber in them, so that does help, especially if it's steel rolled oats or steel cut oats. Sorry, steel cut oats. The starch is released much more slowly than rolled oats, and especially quick oats, because quick oats are not just rolled, but they're also cut up into smaller pieces. Whereas steel cut is basically just still in the almost original form. It's just the ends have been cut off. So it also takes like 40 minutes to cook them instead of just like 5. Crisps. Let's see. Anything else that I'm missing here? Ramen, tostadas, uncooked spelt, or cooked spelt for that matter. And again, any kind of cereals. Quinoa, pie crust. Let's see. Yeah, and that's the list I've got for that one then. And I just wanted to clarify that things like the following are not starchy: artichokes, asparagus, bean sprouts, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, celery, carrots, cucumber, eggplants, mushrooms, onions, peppers, salad greens, spinach, tomatoes, turnips, and zucchini. Those are all not starchy. So don't forget, all the beans are starchy. So now, in the studies that Dr. Carvalho referenced in his video, they were given resistant starch in a powder form. And the results were pretty impressive, and I would recommend you look at the video yourself. But the results demonstrated that you can not only lose fat, but you can lose liver fat if you have fatty liver disease, which leads to cirrhosis of the liver, which eventually kills you. And if you have visceral fat, which is fat inside of your body, inside the torso between the organs, and it can press on the organs and make it harder for you and make your organs start to have problems. So regularly consuming resistant starches instead of regular starches, complex or simple, can actually be used as a method of diet. Now, I'm not saying that you should only eat starches. I am going to say that when you look at the science of high carbohydrate diets, where they're using lots of whole carbs, versus high fat diets, also whole, that overall high carb diets are better for your health than high fat diets. But this is all not that important: carbs, proteins, and fats, because you need all 3 of them. You just need to balance things. So really, you should have plenty of carbs. You should have moderate amounts of protein. Most people get the right amount of protein from the current recommendations for protein intake, which is not what people are doing. They are buying into this fad of protein products and protein shakes, often of which they are contaminated with things like lead. According to Consumer Reports, a lot of protein powders have things like lead and other poisonous substances in them. And then for the fats, you want to stick with the polyunsaturated fats, the monounsaturated fats, and a little bit of the saturated fats, but don't consume trans fats, which actually naturally occur without cooking in, you guessed it, ruminants: cows, sheep, goats, and so on. Anything that runs around and eats grass. Yeah. So you're getting trans fats from them. You're getting trans fats from deep fried foods. That includes donuts and French fries. You're getting fats from restaurant food in general, the saturated fats and the trans fats, because of the tendency to fry and deep fry. So let's get it back, though, to the subject that we're on here, which is resistant starches. Now, you're probably saying, well, I don't want to have to buy resistant starch in order to help lose weight. I'm on a limited budget. That's great. You don't have to buy resistant starch. All you got to do, and I'm going to explain it, it's very, very simple, is choose your starch, cook it, make it cold, cook it again, make it cold again. Do this as many times as you have time for. And then the last time you heat them up, only heat them up enough to make them warm. Do not heat them up all the way, because what you're doing is you're converting the fat into crystals of starch that are hard for our body to digest. So every time you cool that stuff off, it becomes more and more and more resistant. And if you heat it all the way up again, you're going to break it down a lot, and so there won't be as much resistant starch in it. If you want to get an advantage, use cassava instead of things like potatoes, because cassava tastes pretty good. And I'm talking about the roots. That you can also get young cassava leaves and cook those. Those are pretty nice as well, but they don't have starch in them. But cassava root has lots of resistant starch in it. So it's very simple, whether it's rice or potatoes or oats or something else that is a whole form that you can cook again and again and again. Pasta, you can cook it, you can let it dry, you can cook it, you can let it dry out, or at least cool off, and then it becomes resistant, and you can use that to help you lose weight. Now, I'm not saying pig out on these all the time, but I'm saying use it as a regular part of your meals to help you to replace the other types of starches that are not resistant, like breads and regular potatoes, and you can lose weight. The evidence is out there. So I hope that this information has been of use to you. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.